Hi. So, what wants to be shared today is about making ourselves available for what our soul is asking of us and calling us into. So, on a personal note, a couple of months ago, I was in this place of my life where, like so many of us, sometimes we might have a sense of where we're going or an idea of where we're going, but I was just frustrated because though the actions could make sense, they just weren't really clear. They weren't happening. It just was feeling stuck. And so, what came to me was simply to make myself available every single day to what was being asked of me that day. Okay, great. So, I sat down every morning, looked out the window, and said, What's needed of me today? I will be available to whatever that is. And some days it was simple, like go for a hike or go to a coffee shop, where sometimes I would end up meeting somebody. Or they were things like write, and that writing started to make more and more sense. And in retrospect, had actually added up to something. And these actions sometimes didn't make any sense, but it didn't matter. It was true to what was being asked of me, and I could only have faith in that. So, a little farther down the line, I came to realize actually that I was not actually making myself available to everything that was being asked of me. In fact, something and some things had been asked of me for, oh, probably about a year and a half or so, and I'd been a no. And to actually move through the space from a no to a yes, something in my ego mind actually had to completely combust, explode, be done with. And on the other side of that experience was something so brilliant and beautiful. And I want to share some of the perspective from the other side. So, what our soul is very often asking of us and for us is for our wholeness in being, our wholeness in existence, our wholeness in purpose and self expression, using our full potential, aliveness. And it's also looking to complete so many parts of our humanity so that we can be in better symbiotic relationship with our soul and what it's asking from us on a daily and just general basis. And when we come up against some of these things that we're being asked to do, what's initially there is resistance. And it's very natural resistance for us. In fact, in some cases, it's purely logical. If I do that, then I have to face that. And I have to face a fear, or it's going to be really hard, or it's going to be really uncomfortable. It might even seem sort of traumatic. And what we're being asked to see and realize is that two things. There is a wholeness on the other side of it that is a completion of being from our past. And then also is that there is an opportunity for us to actually face that which is keeping us back so we can have greater and more freedom. So there will be times when we are asked to say no to things naturally because we perhaps need to determine a boundary for ourselves, or naturally something is not right for us and we just darn well know it. Completely accurately fair. There are many of those moments. But this is something more. This is where we're being perhaps asked to do something and it's just going to feel like a big bother of something, or a fear, or something we just don't know that we can deal with. And what your soul would like you to know, is that on the other side is that freedom. So you can certainly process the emotions from here, from where you are. When facing that decision, you can process them, and will making that decision be even easier? Yeah, of course. However, sometimes facing the action itself, or what we're being asked to do, also carries us to the point of being faced with those emotions, that we have to clear them. We have to move through those emotions and resistances. And then what is on the other side is, in many cases, an experience of the bliss that comes from the infinity feeling of freedom from those emotions that we were otherwise feeling. So the encouragement is to make ourselves available to what is being asked of us. Where can we say yes, that perhaps we're actually meant to say yes, and a healing, or better yet, a victory can occur? And where can we also begin to move into those things and say yes, to discover what in fact might be beyond? If you like lists, if things like lists excite you, you are very welcome to write a list of all the things that you are clearly saying no to. In fact, what's very interesting is that you might not remember to put some of these things on your list because you've even forgotten you said no to them. So let your mind wander. Where have you actually said no to some things that maybe there might be some opportunity there if you actually said yes? And sometimes the opportunity is simply freedom from an anxiety that's been held from the past, or a resentment against another. Sometimes the freedom is simply a freedom from these things that do shackle us down without us really even knowing it. So be free and listen to your soul as much as you possibly can, and discover what is on the other side. So you can find more videos on YouTube. You can search for Aria Raphael, and you will find them there. Subscribe to my channel there if you would like, and you can receive lots more video goodness in the future. Okay, much love. Mwah.